So I have never told you guys before yet. Of course, this is only my fourth video. I do more things than just being a disabled person and a mother, an empty nester, and a property manager. Before I became a YouTuber, I was also a poet and an activist. Still am. I don't mean to say was. And I wrote a book. I haven't ever published it. I thought I was going to publish it a year ago, and some stuff happened that kind of made me not do it yet. It's a hiccup, not a big deal. I'll get it done. Maybe I'll get it done soon. I don't know. Anyway, when I went to lunch with my friend yesterday, I was telling her this story. I know it seems like I'm going off topic, but bear with me. I was telling her this story about my mother. My friend has recently had surgery, and she's got her arm all, up in a sling, and it's all bandaged up. She had surgery on her thumb and also her carpal tunnel. So she'll be, for 2 weeks, she'll be all with this big thing on her arm. And while she has that, she's trying to take care of her mother with dementia. And I don't know if you have any experience with taking care of people with dementia, but it can get hairy sometimes. Anyway, and she mentioned that her mother had gotten violent a little bit, and that she had hit her in her arm where she's just had her surgery. And she was really upset that she would do that. And it reminded me of something. And I told her this story about when I was a kid. And I'm an abuse survivor. That's probably not a big surprise. When you talk about people who come from poverty and, continuous poverty and dysfunction that doesn't seem to have an end to it, there's usually some reason, a catalyst. And for me, I am an abuse survivor. Not just abuse by my mother, but a sexual abuse survivor as well. Anyway, so I wrote this book, and it's poetry. It's what it is. So I hope you're a poetry fan. And all of my poetry, well, not all of it, but what got me started was writing about my experiences. And when I wrote my book, I did it because, I just realized as I was writing it that it could be helpful to people, so I put it all together, and eventually I'm going to get it out there. Anyway, I told Melinda this story because it reminded me, and it gave me an idea when I was talking to her about it, that it might make a good video for me. I would tell you the story. It was funny because I was telling this story and I was laughing. It's funny how you can laugh. It's good that eventually you can tell these stories and you can laugh. Anyway, so I thought I would tell you this story. And then I'm going to read you a poem that I've written a couple of years ago. It's part of my book. So the story, so she had told me about that her mother had hit her in the arm, and I said, I wonder, do you feel like she did it on purpose? And she says, I don't know. Yeah, maybe. I think so. And I said, that's funny, that's interesting, because my mom, when I was a kid, I must have been, I think I was, let me think, 14, 15 years old. And I'd been in an accident. Kind of hard to call it an accident. It was a dumb is what I had done, as I had been in a dumb. Because I had a friend came over to my house, and I was wearing a bikini. It was summertime, and me and a few of my girlfriends were laying out. That's what we used to do. It's funny, do people do that anymore? Everybody wears sunblock now. Me and a couple of girlfriends were laying out in the backyard, and this other girl came over, and she was driving, and she came over and she pulled up her car in front of my house, and so we all ran out to say hello, and we ended up sitting on the hood of her car, and she had parked a few, like 2 or 3 houses away from my house, because she wasn't sure where I lived, and we had like been outside and gone out and looked for her because we knew she was coming. Anyway, so we were all sitting on her car, and so she got the bright idea, because apparently she was high, I think, and she got the bright idea that she was going to drive the car with us sitting on the hood to my house. And because she was high, she thought she would do it at about 60 miles an hour. So she took off, and anyway, so the 3 of us ended up in the pavement, and lucky we're not dead. And I, of course, was sitting in the front of the hood. So all my friends landed on top of me, and I was the only one who was still wearing a bikini. So I got hurt pretty bad. I had road rash, pretty bad. I even lost half of my pinky toe. Anyway, so it was just a couple of days later after this, and I was all bandaged up, and I had on a sling, and, and I was in a lot of pain, taking some pain medicine, but didn't stop me from sneaking out, and which was a habit of mine. I snuck out about every night, and took my mother's car. And this night, I'm not sure exactly how close it was to the time of the accident, or the dumb, but I was wondering today if the reason why she caught me was because she was worried about me, because it had been close to the accident. But either way, it's funny to look back on things like this, and you look at it from the perspective that you had as a kid, and then you also look at it from the perspective that you have as a mother, and then you also look at it from the perspective you have as a mother who's lived through teenagers. So anyway, get back to the story. She caught me, and she kind of wigged out. She totally wigged out, and she got a belt, and I was 15 years old. It was a long time since I had been willing to accept a spanking of any kind. And so she starts swinging the belt at me, and she's got me down on the bed. I'm like on my bed with my arms up, like trying to, shield my face, and she's just bam, 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 slapping me with this belt as hard as she can. And I realized in all the mess, I realized that she was hitting me on my bandages. I think on purpose. I think that was her intention. And I think I screamed and she screamed, and we said something about that, if I remember correctly. Anyway, and that was the day that a little switch went, and I thought, okay, all bets are off. And the next time that we got into a fight, or an argument rather, it was later when I was better, and I was, no bandages, and But I know, I'm pretty sure that that incident with the belt and her purposely hitting me on my wounds was the reason that when she came at me that next time when we were arguing in the kitchen and she raised her hand at me, I didn't mess around and I just punched her right in the face. Yeah, to think of, I don't know, if you're not an abuse survivor, these probably sound like insane things. And even more insane to have me laughing about it. But I mean, that's just how much time has passed that I can look at it. I mean, I know that it's insane. I know that it's dysfunctional and horrible and all those things. But I've come far enough that I can see the humor in it too. I guess. I don't know. I don't think she can. I doubt it. Anyway, so I wrote this book, this poetry book, and it's called The History of My Heart. And it's based on a 5-part poem that I've written that's woven throughout the book and called History of My Heart. And I'm going to read for you The History of My Heart, Part 4. Now, I am used to reading my poetry because I go to a Wednesday night poetry here in Hot Springs. I don't go as often as I used to, but this will be the first time I've ever read it on a video, and I've kind of thought about doing that before, so I decided to go ahead and mishmash everything together. Anyway, here's the poem. The History of My Heart, Part 4. The history of my heart has a latest chapter, one of exquisite love and ultimate horror. Its name can only be called pain, with death and new love and hope dashed, wings spread and soaring heights of love that fall and fall and fall to a fiery, burning death. It was going to be the final victory, and it became the final torment. The depths of the mother's torment and the wife's desire know only the rule of heart. Salvation found, and peace and joy cultivated for nothing, and lost, maybe forever. The sins of the father on the son are nothing compared to the sin of Eve on my child, on my heart. A wicked indulgence to be so bold, so crass, to question Jehovah God, the only way to peace and the furthest fall from grace. The heart that finally found the greatest love, that finally found the highest, purest love, and then lost it. The heart that finally found the most exquisite peace and the joy, and loss and broken carnage of soul. The heart polluted by the demon that came in so many forms, the trickster, the lover, the death, the pain. A beach, some wine, and sweet, sweet promise of death yanked away. The fall of hope rising and falling and rising and falling again, like a Ferris wheel ride. My heart could take no more of the dizzying heights and the garish carnival lights, looking down on the crowds of soulless, mournful ants, and wind rushing through the iron spokes, the roar of the wind, the hideous, musical, joyous ride of a lifetime. Where does one go for such pain? Arkansas, Florida, anywhere it seems. The history of my heart has not ended. The history of my heart continues to unfold with sickening hope. It blinks its moist eyes once again in the sunlight. In the morning mist, it hopes, it breathes, it refuses once again to die. 3 deaths are visited upon this heart, this life. Pray it will not be 4. Pray it will be released. Pray it is forgiven once again to die. Excuse me. Pray it is forgiven. I messed that up. Pray, pray, pray. Pray the vine grow forth from my fingertips, through my pencil tips. Pray the vine with heart-shaped leaves will spread its lush green healing over the girl in the chair. Pray the vine will carry the forgiveness of the light through its lifeblood to overtake the pain, to overtake the life and soothe away the shame. Pray the vine heals, the green love spreads far and wide and covers the earth with hushed softness and rainforest strength of the oldest and the tallest and strongest. Pray. To be continued. So I didn't mean, sorry, I messed that up a little bit. And you know what? I would go back and I would edit it. But as I found out when I did my last video, I'm not quite sure how to do that. I thought I knew how to do it. How to take, go in and take a clip out of the middle and pull it out, throw it away. But I can't seem to figure that out. If you have directions for that for me on Movie Maker and you want to put it in the comments, that would be cool, because there's a comment section down there, like I said before, and then there's, right over here, like over here, there's a little thumbs up, and you could click on that. And then over here, where is it? Right there. I'm a little closer to the camera. Point at it. Right, well, the other way, that way. There is a little subscribe button underneath my name. And if you click on that, then you'll keep on getting, the newest videos that I post. So all of this whole channel, Victoria on the Road, this whole channel is about how my intention is to get an RV, and I haven't got it yet. And once I do, I'm going to go on the road, slowly at first, and then eventually full time. And so this whole channel and vlog and everything is about, first, how I get it done, then how I get everything organized. I'm going to be touching on things like health, wellness in the RV. I'm going to be touching on there will be poetry. There will be food, because I like to cook, and I'm going to have to figure out how to cook the things that I like to eat on the weird diets that I like to eat in my RV. And so, yeah, there's going to be a lot of stuff. In addition to, once I get the RV, there's going to be, how to live in an RV, how to make a living in an RV, how to be disabled in an RV, how to boondock. I will be trying to figure out how to install solar, most likely by myself, which is going to be fun considering that, I can't crawl around on my hands and knees on top of an RV. So yeah, this should be pretty interesting. And I know I'm going to learn a lot, and maybe you'll learn something too. Maybe you'll teach me something. That's what the comment section is for. So leave me a comment, subscribe, thumbs up. If you like it, if there's some value that you find here, I'd appreciate it. So this is a shorter video. Well, maybe not. Anyway, that's all I have to say for now. So, peace. I'm Victoria.
There was one page in this whole book that's all where I could be free. There'd be just one way on this one road.